The moment that Central Vancouver Island farmers have been waiting for. They've been growing these huge pumpkins since April. We're going to find out how much they weigh on this edition of Go. Coming up today on Go, a Qualicum Beach teen on the international stage, the latest trends in kitchen gadgets, and does Melanie Panetta have what it takes to be a glassblower? That and more today on Go.
Need one more guy, come on. I would think so.
Three guys to lift a pumpkin. That one maybe weighs a couple of 100 pounds. Did you know that pumpkins can actually get as large as 2,000 pounds? I think in the lineup that's inside the barn here at the VIEX grounds at Bevan Park, that is considered small. We're going to look at some big ones later on this edition of Go Island. In the meantime, I had the honor, the pleasure of meeting a young man and his family in Qualicum Beach recently. Harrison Hood is a big star in Ontario. He's got a resume that's longer than mine, and he's only 16. It's unfortunate that seniors do fall victim to all kinds of crime in our society, not only physical ones. As we grow older, we get more frail, we're more likely to be targeted by those who just don't know any better. It is a huge issue in our society. There's a crime prevention forum coming up in Nanaimo on October the 19th from 4:30 until 4, and there's going to be a wide range of topics covered, everything from identity theft, protecting yourself online, community scams, online scams, and what you can do if you're a senior to prevent yourself from falling victim. That runs 8:30 to 4 in Nanaimo. You can get more information by calling the number that you see on the screen. You are watching Go Island on Shaw TV Channel 4, and we're at the Pumpkin Festival. We're weighing in on some very, very large pumpkins. They've all been grown in the Central Vancouver Island region. The farmers have been nurturing them in the fields since April, and today's a big day. Our biggest so far is 310 pounds. I think a record in British Columbia is about 2,000 pounds. We're not going to hit that today, but there are some very large pumpkins waiting to get weighed in here at the Vancouver Island Exhibition Grounds in Nanaimo. We'll be back with more on this edition of Go. Still ahead today on Go Island, modern trends in kitchen gadgetry. A Nanaimo woman has had the same pet for 60 years, and glass blowing with Melanie Panetta. That's still ahead today on Go. You are watching Go Island on Shaw TV Channel 4, and we are literally in the middle of the Pumpkin Festival, weighing these pumpkins that have been growing in local farmers' fields since April. We've been guesstimating what they weigh before we reveal the weight on the scale. I would guess this one to be about, judging by the others, I'm going to say 450 pounds, which in the world of pumpkin growing in large scale isn't really that much. Sorry guys, I hope we're not in your way. What do you guess this one to weigh? What do you think it's going to come in at?
550.
550, okay, a full 100 pounds more than what my guess is, and they're going to reveal on the scale over here in just a minute, and let's see what's going to happen. The forklift, 560 pounds. I'm competing with Leslie Ply, who's announcing here at the Pumpkin Festival. She's also a colleague at Shaw TV. 560 pounds, you were close. I was way off, way off. We'll get to some of the bigger pumpkins later on this edition of Go Island. In the meantime, what if you wanted to cook with that thing? Do you think you'd have any utensils that could do the job? Next up, Karen Elgersma looks at the trend of kitchen gadgets. I don't think there is a kitchen gadget that is appropriate for working with a 900-pound pumpkin. That was the latest weigh-in here at the Pumpkin Festival in Nanaimo, the 5th annual. You are watching Go Island on Shaw TV Channel 4. Leslie Ply is an organizer with the festival. 900 pounds, you're going, that's nothing.
Well, it's nothing compared to some years, but it's pretty good for this year because it was such a poor year for growing pumpkins here on the island.
Why is that?
Just the weather in June wasn't sufficient enough for the heat and the plant to get enough leaves to support the pumpkin.
Okay, now is there something that you have to do differently to grow a massive pumpkin as compared to just a regular one, or is it fluke?
Well, actually, what we use is the same.
Super fertilizer, right?
No, no. There's lots of fertilizer involved, but there's also the pumpkin seeds from these giant pumpkin growers. You can get them anywhere from these guys, and giant pumpkin seeds grow giant pumpkins. So they're specialized seeds.
And why do people do it? Is it purely bragging rights? Is it just hobby? Is it fascination, absurdity?
All of the above, really. You see these things grow in your yard between April and the end of September, and you're like, wow, that's pretty good. So it's fascination too.
Now there is a sanctioned portion, which this exhibition is not. But if a pumpkin weighed in big enough, you would suddenly become sanctioned?
Well, yeah, we would become members of the GPC. We have been before, but it does cost some money, and so we're just local way off, and we're doing the best we can here with local sponsors and donations, and we're so happy that the community is behind us 100%.
What's the biggest pumpkin you know of ever that's been grown?
There was one in the States this year that is 2,009 pounds grown in the States because they have the climate to do that, and we don't, unfortunately.
And what's the one coming up here now, or this one that they're getting ready to weigh?
Yeah, this is another exhibition by Jake Van Kooten out of Porter Bernie, and I think it's estimating around 900, between 850 or 900. So we'll see how it goes.
Between 850 and 900 pounds, and that wouldn't be the heaviest one we've seen here today. We'll be back and tell you exactly what that pumpkin weighs in later on this edition of Go. In the meantime, we're going to throw things over to, I guess it's an absurdity of another kind, box turtles. One woman in Nanaimo has had a pet turtle for more than 60 years. The turtle itself is estimated to be 100 years old. I'm sure it's not 100 pounds, though. You're watching Go Island on Shaw TV Channel 4, and we're getting to the climax of the Pumpkin Festival here. The big boys are making their way to the scale. This one weighs in at 732 pounds. The biggest one so far that we've seen today is 900 pounds. And I think the biggest pumpkin in British Columbia has been weighed in, or maybe in the world has been weighed in at just over 2,000 pounds. And I know that the grower of that pumpkin got a $10,000 prize. So not a bad payoff, but a pretty rare thing indeed to have a pumpkin that's over 1,000 pounds. We might see that here today at Nanaimo's 5th Annual Pumpkin Festival. We're going to throw things over now to Melanie Panada. She's learning how to blow glass. £955. It came down to a father-daughter team, and Carrie beat her father by what, 4 pounds?
4 pounds. It feels great. I love him, but it feels great.
Is there a bit of a rivalry going on between the family when it comes to the pumpkin growing?
I have never beat him in my life, so this is lovely.
What do you think put you over the edge? Was it just luck? Was there...
Well, I should mention that he did give me the seed to start, so that's a good thing. But yeah, it just happened to be that this is a year.
Yeah. How long have you been growing pumpkins?
Oh, I think about 10 years.
Okay. This is your biggest so far then?
No, actually it's not. My biggest is 960. So this has come close, but this will be my second biggest now.
Congratulations. What do you win?
I think I win money.
I think she wins $1,000.
$1,000. That's just lovely. Made it worth the trip.
Congratulations, thank you. And that brings us to the end of this edition of Go Island. The biggest pumpkin here at the 5th Annual Nanaimo Pumpkin Festival came in at
955.
955.1. We'll see you next time.